are live. Welcome everyone to this Agent Intelligence live stream. We're exploring everything AI agents, the future of agents, the agent infrastructure, everything that is happening around tool leaders in the ecosystem, and we are chatting with strong like AI agent builders. So I'm Francesco. I'm part of Mother DAO, contributing to the DAO, and very excited about everything agent. I'm also leading developer relation at Consensus, and today we're diving deep into the technology and a vision about Solimp agent with actually a very cool like builder called Lostboydev. It's a pleasure to have you. It's an honor to have you on the stream. I think we made it after a couple of like weeks, and yeah, just you want to quickly introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Francesco. Uh, Thanks for having me and making the time. Yeah, and it was a little bit tricky to get together. We had to,
We made it.
yeah, we had to defeat a cyclone here in Brisbane first, and we had to fight time zone differences. But ultimately, we made it. And I have to wear my ski goggles today, just
It's so
to,
cool.
yeah, look
So
a little
cool.
bit more like an agent developer, I guess.
True agent developer. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Okay, let's do it. So, you want to give quickly an introduction around what is Salim agent, and mostly more important, we're on a high level, like what kind of problems you were trying to initially solve building this agent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Salim, um, many people in the AI agent space are probably familiar with Solange.
Hmm.
And Salim started as a meme or as a joke. Um, Jokingly, we said, "What if we create a agent simp that is like a fanboy for Solange?" So that's how it started, and then um, we thought about it, and we thought um, this actually very interesting concept. We can make it a real simp,
Hmm.
and a simp, if you think about it, is basically um, starts off with becoming a mod. So we thought we make a AI agent that can moderate your
Hmm.
community,
Hmm.
and that's what we've been exploring. And I have one other developer, and we've been working on it pretty much full time
Nice.
for a couple of months straight. And we've like really dived into agent development, and we explored a few different avenues. And right now we are fully focused on moderating capabilities
Hmm.
powered
Hmm.
by AI, being aware
Nice.
of context and
Nice.
uh, all sorts of different ways how how scammers are trying to trick um, the
Nice. That's very
moderators.
cool. So moderator side, that's very cool actually. Like you want to run us through a little bit like the kind of like the core agent functionality. I know like you want to share like a screen or like you want to show us a demo so that we can actually understand what actually the agent can do. But I think for the people out there, I mean, Solimp is actually like quite famous around agents right now. But for the people that don't know yet, you want to quickly show is like a demo or something. How does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. I just noticed that my Docker instance is not on, which doesn't help me right now. So I'm just going to try and turn Docker on.
Let's do it.
Um,
Let's do it.
so basically, while that's happening in the background, Docker is
Mhm.
trying to recover, and Solimp is trying to recover locally. Solimp is already active in three Telegram channels of three
Mhm.
separate projects, and we found some very interesting results. So he's super efficient. He's super hardworking. He doesn't sleep, and he catches scams and spams at the moment in his life
Nice.
environment. So maybe I can share
Yeah,
my
that would be awesome.
screen. Just find where did I push the window
I
because
yes,
you can see it maybe in a minute,
you
but
can
I
see.
can
I called toggle on here. Do you see
sure.
it?
Okay,
So
let's go in.
perfect. I see your screen now. I see your Psyche iPad.
Awesome. My Telegram is a little bit slow on the desktop. I don't know why. One day I tried to test spam, and yeah,
Mhm.
since then my
So
Telegram, I think, is restricting me.
so what is happening now? So Solimp is in this Stoic AI chat and is moderating basically different chats.
Yeah, exactly. So if I look at the history here, we can see Salim did like admin actions here. So for example, here this one is an easy one. Someone sent like a scam link to a different channel. Um, so he got that straight away. External reply. We notice that the scammers always come in in swarms, basically. So you
Mm,
see a lot of the same
okay.
action. So for example, this one is like let's see, find one that is not a external reply.
So and you will basically write actions similar to a bot interaction in Telegram, or how does it work?
Yep. So he works autonomously. So he gets all the messages from Telegram from the channel once you have added him, and and then let me see. It's hard to find a good example right now where we can actually see his reasoning. Maybe I'll open the database. It's a bit easier. But anyway, so he gets the messages and then he analyzes
Hmm.
them, and we use like a combination of like different LLM, different models,
Yes.
and we send this message through a pipeline,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then at the end we get all the different results from all the different tests. And Solimp is working with like a dynamic prompt configuration
Hmm.
that that we have built for him, that he
Hmm.
puts together for his pipeline, and then he sends that to the or through the LLM, and then at the end
Yes.
we analyze the results,
Yes.
and then based on the results he creates his reasoning, and his action is either um, it's all good,
Hmm.
ignore,
Hmm.
or it's a violation of one of the
The
criteria.
rules.
Yes,
Yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
rules.
Nice.
Um, so then he can also communicate his reasoning in the chat,
Hmm.
and he can carry out actions like delete message, uh, restrict user, and ban
Hmm.
user.
Oh,
At the
nice.
moment, we only restrict message because we don't want to like we want to be careful while Salimp is learning with like false negatives and stuff.
Yes. So
Um,
how you train the model for false negative and stuff? Like
yeah, so we have to basically hold his hand with our database. We analyze if there was a false negative. We set that as a example for Salim and say this one is actually okay. This one is cool. Or if you missed something, then we set that as an example for what actually scam looks like.
mhm,
So
mhm.
every time he misses something, we need to let him know. And at the moment, the mechanic for that is a flag in our database, and we're working on a backend where you can then see the messages and the resulting action, the analysis on it, and then you can say, hey, this one was actually okay, um, and then Solimp will take that, put that into his learning.
Yes.
Or if he missed something, you can say this one was actually scam.
Okay, okay. And that
So
basically is learning, is reinforced learning. Yeah.
yeah, because the problem in that space is, I think my test Solimp is maybe running now. The problem in that space is that uh, one second, multitasking is not very strong today for me.
I know you're literally on the other side of the world. It's already amazing having this live stream happening.
This is a test. Okay, let me see if this message arrives in my local instance.
So basically now you basically wrote this is a test in the chat so that everybody can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So how long? I mean, is it now basically on the background is running this through the Solimp agent? How long does it take, like, to run actually like a prompt like that?
That's very surprising results for us. The whole analysis, and it's pretty detailed, pretty intricate, different analyses that he runs on each message, and all in all, the end result where he comes to his final conclusion is anywhere between like half a second and 5 seconds.
And it's going also backwards in history, right? On the Telegram group.
Yeah, yeah. So he has the capacity to, if he needs more context, to pull in more information, and that will be very interesting for the future. Right now, for what he's doing now, he doesn't have to go backwards. Um, for some reason, the test message didn't arrive. I'll try and restart while we're talking my local instance. But if that doesn't work, I'll just talk you through the examples. I don't want to spam into one of
Yeah.
our actual customer servers.
Yeah, 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 it's. I think it's fine. We run. I mean, we understand also the GIFs basically is you are basically prompting is running the full kind of like chat, moderating, flagging. So what other functionality are you doing? Also like on-chain analysis of chat, like could be stuff like Farcaster, Discourse,
Yeah,
forum like that, or is running mostly on Discord? Sorry, on a Telegram group basis.
yeah. So right now it's all on Telegram, and then we're building everything modular. So we completely in our architecture. Maybe that goes into technical stuff. I don't know. Is that okay?
Yeah, please, please,
Yeah,
please.
yeah.
A lot of
So,
agent builders are hearing us, right? Yeah.
yeah. So in our architecture, we from the beginning try to, like, as close as we can, especially if you don't know what these frameworks are that you're using is hard in the beginning. So then we have to do refactor, and we want everything to be like as modular as possible. So right now the message is coming in, and the pipeline for analyzing the messages and the different um, tasks, if you want, or rule sets
Hmm.
like scam analysis, spam analysis.
Hmm.
Uh, we have profanity, and we're working on FAT analysis. They are all their own modules where they can be pulled into the pipeline, also specific per project. But because of that, the resulting action is pretty much the same across the board on different platforms, right? It's either like, did this person do something that we didn't like? Then
Hmm.
the action is to control the person with either timeout or ban. And I think any platform that has chat functionality
Hmm.
has those basic things. So um, putting him in Discord is gonna be, at least in my mind,
Hmm.
pretty straightforward task.
Hmm. Hmm. That's very cool. That's very cool. And so, and Lost Boy, here, what, because like I like what you are kind of like going deeper on the technical side, like any kind of like key technical decisions that you made during your own way in the architecture, like kind of like you want to share some lesson learned about building Solimp from scratch, kind of like if you were back in the beginning, what are kind of the lesson learned that you want to share to the other AI agent builder hearing us right now?
Yeah, so that's a really good question.
Yeah, it's always I assume there will always be problem and challenges building the agent, especially could be also from the framework side. I don't know what you think about that. What were the lessons learned out there?
Yeah, yeah. So things move at like ridiculous pace,
Mm,
um, especially especially like in broader AI development. Like right now, we have like so many new things that didn't exist 2 months ago, right? And
exactly.
then there's always like the rush or like the flow to these new things.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's important to pick something, make a
Hmm.
hypothesis why you pick it, and then implement it um, before you try and rush to update it even. Because
Hmm.
we started with the ELIZA framework,
Hmm.
and by the time when we started, they had like really good community. They had really good
Great.
community. They had like the agent dev school,
Yes.
so very good resources. So it looked like, looking in from the outside, it looked like this is a great place because it has strong documentation. So
Yes.
this is
Yes.
also something that's important. You can have like a really good, you can find like really a variety of third party frameworks and tools. But if the documentation sucks and no one
I
is
agree.
using it, and you don't know who
Absolutely.
you can ask for help, you're
Yes.
going to be on your own.
Yes.
So that was
Yes.
a strong point to use the framework or decide to go ahead and try something, build something with it.
Hmm.
And in the process, we found that most of the documentation actually wasn't really matching with what we were seeing in the code because the code evolves so quickly.
Hmm. Of
The
course. Yes.
repository is advancing a lot. So some of the things in the documentation are outdated, or other core features are not included. So you end up having to first find out how you can understand this framework on your own anyway. So I'm not sure if I would advise someone. I think what was important for us is that once we got a grip on how ELIZA Core works and how we
Yes.
can use the memory management to our advantage and things like that, there was a time where we didn't update it for a while, even though there were probably
Okay.
features and stuff. But I'm like, if Apple brings out the new macOS, I'm
Hmm.
probably one of the last people that updates their Mac because I know the
Makes
risk.
sense.
I know the risks involved. I don't want to deal with it if something goes off, or if for some reason now one of my dev tools needs reconfiguration and it can't take like fully
Yeah.
up. I just
I mean, of course, like I'm seeing that with the developer experience. A lot of people are using versioning of SDKs. They are not the updated one because they
yeah,
are afraid to actually break the prod. Yeah.
because environment setup in development
Hmm.
can take a lot of time. I've never been I've never been in a project where I come into the project and then someone says, "Here's the repository. There's all of the certificates, and then you can expect to start in like 1 hour or something." No, it's
Hmm.
always finicky little things the first time set up. So I would say yeah, try and keep that in mind, especially in the AI space. Set up your project and just worry about how you get going, how you get the
Hmm.
learning,
Hmm.
and then
Yes.
treat the updates with respect. Separate branch, separate yeah, separate branch is probably fine,
Nice.
and just
Okay.
careful. And
Okay.
then when
What
you
is
learn,
your? Mhm.
it feels like when you buy a new car. Like
Yeah, of
so
course.
much has changed in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
We pulled from Maine, and wow.
that's crazy. Yeah. And what is your thought about so many kind of like agent builders coming from Web 2? They're kind of like costume to like Python specific frameworks. Like, do you see this kind of like trend? What do you see around kind of like um, being kind of like the challenges to those kind of like new agent developers versus what's coming? Like, do you have any thought about that?
Um, yeah, so if they come from Web two, then I think they have like some advantage because they know if they know their web stuff, if they know the web languages, that's pretty good. I come from mobile app and desktop development.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, can you specify your question a bit more?
Oh yeah, no, it's general. Like, do you have
You
some thought
mean if
about kind
they
of
if they start interacting with like on chain,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Well, I think I think the thing about that is, in my experience, like the Web3 stuff, that's the same as with the ELIZA framework. You have like these relatively new projects, relatively new, right? Like maybe Solana JS or something
Uh-huh.
has been around a little bit longer, but then they bring out the V2, which is very different. And in there you have like many things that in Web2 you just don't have to deal with, like Bosch
Mm.
encryption, unpacking like the on-chain data. It's like ridiculous amounts of data blobs that you're looking at. Um, I would definitely recommend to use tools like um, Windsurf
Hmm.
and
Nice.
just
So kind of
download,
like going. Yeah.
yeah, download the examples,
Yes.
clone the repositories. That's what we did with Eliza as well. Um, Throw everything out that is irrelevant, and then use that as your documentation. Use that, and then
Okay.
you can chat with those vibe editors
Yes.
as if that's the documentation. So you can always say, based on how this is done here,
Yes.
how am I supposed to get the name of the metadata of the
Hmm.
Solana
Hmm.
token address?
Nice, nice. I think it makes sense. Those are actually really solid, kind of like lesson learned. And maybe one thing to ask is that what were like the biggest kind of like technical challenges you faced building like Solimp? Like, was it um, on the framework side? Was it is it now deploying basically like client servers based? What do you think are and will be those challenges?
I think for us, the biggest challenge was understanding how Eliza is put together and how the memory stuff works, and also understanding like slight nuances or differences in AI development to traditional development. It just feels like sometimes you need to approach it a little bit differently. Um, there are certain pitfalls that you have to be a bit more aware of, or that you have to be aware of that don't exist
Hmm. Hmm.
in other developments, such as um, when you do a lot of testing, you're doing repeatedly the same thing
Hmm.
over and over again, and
Hmm.
you basically trashing the memory of the AI. So you're putting like a lot of repeat memories in there that at the end make the whole memory of, not the whole memory, but it just makes it a bit, it becomes like an idiot. The AI becomes an idiot while you're doing debugging. I
Mm,
think the AI just deteriorates with every iteration. So then you have to think about, how do I mitigate that? How do I not destroy? Like, is it important that my AI remembers our previous interactions? Maybe that's something that you're testing, right?
yes,
So
yes.
how do I debug that without destroying his memory? So
Mm,
I had like things where I was trying to fix a bug for like a couple of hours, and it was driving me insane because I
yeah.
already fixed it. The code
Mm,
is there. It should work. I know it will work. I know it does work. And I run it, and then I ask Salim what his results are, and I see he's trying to use it, but he just says it didn't work.
hmm.
And that was driving me insane. But then I realized that he had the memories, the strong memories from the debugging before, where it
Ah,
didn't work. So instead
okay.
of executing the task, he was lazy and he just jumped to
Oh, okay. That's actually super. Yeah, that's actually super interesting.
it. I think,
And
yeah, you have to keep that in mind, right? And in traditional development, your computer,
yeah.
your compiler will never just jump to the conclusion and say like, I'm just gonna be lazy now, and instead of running this function, I'm just gonna take the result that I remember from the last 100 times. That's not gonna happen.
But then, how you approach kind of testing and validation? Like, what's the best way to do it?
Um, yeah, so because we've been like really focusing on learning these basics, if you want,
Yes.
and then at the same time trying to get our product done and push it out. We've been more like approaching it like Vikings with swords and axes running into battle. Um,
Yeah.
our our testing was just local between ourselves, doing lots of iterations, and then we did like a very careful orchestrated staged rollout. So even right now we are still in our staged rollout phase, and we have Salim active in like selected channels, and we're just adding them one by one, but we are like closely monitoring what he's doing. um, I think for like tests and stuff, we haven't actually utilized much unit testing in Salim.
Okay. Okay.
But
That's
that's a
cool.
really
Yeah.
good question that we also definitely want to look at, but
Okay.
we need to
Okay.
answer that question for ourselves.
Makes sense. Yeah. And anything like during the development phase, like anything that kind of like surprised you positively during this Solimp development?
Yeah, how capable AIs can be,
Huh.
how,
Interesting.
yeah, like the stuff that you can do with AI now.
It's impressive. Yeah.
That was very surprising. I always would have assumed that it would take much longer,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be much more um, resource heavy, but it's actually pretty impressive. I think right now we have created different scenarios, and we did stress tests, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right now Solimp is active in three channels of like real projects,
Mm-hmm.
and he's processing like 1,000 messages a day or so, and
Nice.
on top of that we can do stress tests, and
Yes.
it's just I'm very surprised I thought it's going to be much more resource and
Oh,
cost,
okay.
and yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was
Very cool.
surprising to me. That is actually quite scalable now.
Yes.
Um, AI.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, especially with the also like the with the new LLM,
Yeah,
kind of like yeah, just everybody's shipping different LLMs right now. I was testing even Manus right now. It's scary. It's really scary. It's like very, very, very powerful. Okay, sounds good. I think we are almost on time here. Lostboydev, like what are kind of like the next things that you have been cooking for Slim? Like
yeah,
anything that you want to kind of like give some insights, what's
yeah,
coming?
yeah. So right now I'm working on the website. My other developer is working on the back end. And we're hoping to get that out soon so that actually we can invite, or we can let other people invite Salim into the channel, and that will be still part of like our stage rollout. But we want to have the ability that many people can just invite him with the website. Just I imagine like a click of a button to invite him to your Telegram. Then we want to have the back end so that you can manage your Salim and his learning. So because every group has like, that's something we learned. They all have their unique requirements. They have a very different audience, and they have different communications, and they have different types of spam and scam coming in.
Hmm.
Um, and there's constant evolving. It's a constant ongoing battle because spam and scam,
Yes.
that's their livelihood, their bread and butter. They're
Yes.
very creative. So when they find out this doesn't work anymore because Solimp is like on it, they try many different things. So it's like a dance back and forth, and Solimp
Yes.
uh, sh- will uh, will start automating his own learning as well, so that
Yes.
he can identify his stuff. But then, yeah, we want to have this backend so that you can actually manage the learning of Solimp in your channel. You can activate the different components and features. We have this component called fart control, which is what, like, that's my favorite. Um, and we want to roll that out into testing pretty soon, so that you
Nice.
can manage if there's like negativity, something happened, maybe one of the founders uh, turned out to be, he said he works at Tesla, and then it turns out he only works at Chrysler, right? And imagine that comes out in your project. Then there's a lot of people say like, "Hey, he lied to us." And other
Mm.
people say like, "Oh, but Chrysler is still a pretty good company, and he's the CEO." And then it's like, "Oh well." There's a lot of FUD going around, so we want Salim to be able to step in there and say like, "Look, I
Yes.
understand you're upset, but this
So
topic
also
is."
sentiment. Yeah, sentiment analysis
Yeah.
also on messages, that would be cool. Yeah.
So this topic is now on hold. I have taken a note of it. I am now communicating with the project owner, and I'll get back to you guys with information. So
Yes. Sounds good. Very
uh,
powerful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So next, yeah, keep an eye out for the landing page, and then if it's there, would be awesome if you have a Telegram group and you're happy to give Salimp a go.
Yes.
Invite him to your channel.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
We contact myself on X. Send me a message. I love to connect with anyone in the space as well.
Nice, nice. Yeah, the best way to close this up, I think that's awesome. And everybody that is building and needing something like Solimp, please reach out. I think you're quite accessible. There is a lot of like things happening right now in the space, and we definitely need more Solimps on managing and moderating our channels, because it's kind of like a World Wide West. Especially if I'm thinking about my Discord channels, it's just crazy. It's also
Uh,
difficult to
if,
keep it up. Yeah.
Definitely. When I activate the Discord integration, I'll send you a DM. Let's get him in your Discord and clean up.
Hmm.
'Cause
Yes,
no,
100%.
nobody wants to have that, right?
Yes, agree, agree. Awesome. Okay, sounds good. I mean, thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. That's all for today's Agent Intelligent. Again, Lostboydev, thank you so much for also like joining. Also, like, thank you for sharing those insights in around Solimp challenges, roadmap, why we need more Solimps in the space. I think that's extremely important. And mostly, thanks everyone for watching. Check out also like the recording. We will send over like different links. FOI, the mother kind of like project that's completely launched since Denver. Check out a bunch of like announcement. Also, if you're building cool AI agents and you want to kind of like present in this live stream, you want to just think about like, okay, this is what I want to kind of like show to the world. We have actually one very specific Discord. Not please, no more Discord, right? But we have like a quick channel on Discord that you can actually show and send your repo and demos, so that we can actually check it out. Until that time, I'm looking forward to meet everyone in either next conference or in some virtual agent hackathon. It was a big pleasure, Oswedev, and I see you next. And thanks for coming. I know that we made it happen, was great, and thanks. And I hopefully like I see you the next time.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm
Thanks, everyone.
glad we could make it happen. So yeah, thank you for having
Awesome.
me, Francesca.
Cheers. Cheers, everyone. Bye bye. Bye bye.